Hello fellow food lovers, welcome to Chew to Live's weekly sneaky food review. Eating veggies got you down? Michelle here from Chew to Live Nutrition, welcoming you to the sneaky weekly food review. At times in life we're faced with issues that need to be dealt with in a direct, head-on manner. But at other times we may find we get better results by using a less obvious, more subtle approach. When it comes to eating better, a little sneaky nutrition can go a long way to helping you achieve your goals. Our weekly sneaky food review is all about taking more of the foods that we should probably all be eating, like vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds, and making them absolutely irresistible. Each week we'll feature one such food, give it the attention it deserves, and create fabulous tasting side dishes that you and your family will look forward to eating. By using healthy foods to create a delicious diversion, you end up providing your body with the nutrients it needs to function properly. And as a result, you end up having fewer cravings for the foods you may be wanting to eat less of. You can still enjoy all your favorite treat foods, just now you'll be satisfied with less. Thought to have originated in Asia Minor, our featured food on today's sneaky weekly food review has been around for thousands of years. Having the nutritional value greater than most other foods out there today, it has earned the title King of Greens. If you haven't already guessed it, I'm talking about kale. Kale is a beautiful member of the brassica family, and there are several different varieties available to us year-round, although it's in season in the winter and is usually sweetest tasting from mid-winter until early spring. Curly or Scotch kale can be identified by its really deep, ruffly leaves and dark green color. It's more pungent and peppery than other varieties of kale, making it excellent for use in soups and stews. Then there's dinosaur kale. It's also known as lacinato or Tuscan kale, and it's easily identifiable by its deep blue-green color and heavily embossed or almost reptile-like texture. It's a little bit more delicate and sweeter tasting than curly kale, and it's awesome either braised, steamed, or sautéed. While different varieties of kale may taste and look different, one thing that they all have in common is their fantastic nutritional profile. Kale contains powerful antioxidants and is a great source of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. There are many health benefits associated with eating more of this fantastic vegetable, including protection from various forms of cancer, improved liver function, reduction in symptoms of arthritis, and protection against bone loss and osteoporosis. With so many great things to say about kale, shouldn't we all be eating more? Kale is a very versatile vegetable and can be easily added to things like soups and stews, or you can use it as a substitute in place of cabbage. Stuff it with meat and vegetables just as you would cabbage rolls. We already know it's great eaten raw in salads and smoothies, but one of my personal favorite ways of eating kale is just simply sauteing it with onions and mushrooms and serving it either as is or, as we're going to do today, over baked polenta. Today we're going to be giving our kale a bit of an Italian treatment, so we're going to use our dinosaur or Tuscan kale. You're going to need a large bunch, which is about 10 ounces, torn into bite-sized pieces. You'll also need 300 grams of sliced mushrooms, a half a cup of chopped onion, 1/2 tablespoon of either extra virgin olive oil, or I really like avocado oil, so you can use that, and a 1/2 tablespoon of either butter or coconut oil. The recipe for polenta we're going to be making today serves 8. It's a larger batch, but I like making it that way so that I can freeze some and always have something to serve if I'm in a bit of a pinch. So you're going to need 5 cups of water, 300 grams of polenta, 1/3 cup grated Parmesan cheese, 1 tablespoon of butter, or you could use coconut oil, and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. So come join me in the kitchen and we'll get cooking. Brush a 9 by 11 inch shallow baking pan with coconut oil or butter and set aside. Pour 1 1/4 or 5 cups of water into a medium-sized saucepan, and to that you're going to be adding your cornmeal and your salt. We're going to stir this to combine, and then we're going to turn the heat on to medium-high, and we're going to start bringing this up to a slow boil, stirring pretty much all the time to try to avoid forming lumps while this is cooking. So now that our polenta has come to a boil, we want to continue stirring it and cooking for about another 3 to 5 minutes while it thickens. As you can see, because we've been stirring it the whole while, it's nice and smooth and has no lumps, which is exactly what we want. Okay, now our polenta is nice and thick. It's time to add our butter and our grated Parmesan cheese. And we're just going to stir this in until it's all melted and well combined. Add your cooked polenta to your prepared baking pan. We don't want to leave any of that yummy golden goodness in our pot. Then just smooth it out with a palette knife or spatula. And now it's ready to go in the oven. Okay, so we're going to let that polenta bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit until the edges are nice and brown, the top is crisp. It should take about 45 minutes. And while our oven's taking care of that, let's start cooking our kale. So first we're going to add our either avocado or olive oil and our coconut or butter, coconut oil or butter, to a medium-sized shallow saucepan, skillet. Add your onion and your mushrooms to the skillet. And we're going to saute this over medium-high heat for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now I'm going to be adding the kale, and what you want to do is give your kale a quick rinse just before you're about to cook it. If you rinse it any earlier, it has a tendency to go a little limp. So I'm going to get this nicely combined, try to keep it in the skillet, and then we're going to cook it for about 4 minutes. Once your kale is wilted and nice bright green in color, it's ready. The last thing we need to do is season it with just a little bit of sea salt. And if you're like me and you like black pepper, a generous amount of freshly ground black pepper. Stir that all in and remove from heat. We're just about ready to serve. So with our polenta ready, we're now ready to serve. So you can cut this right in the dish, but I find it a lot easier if we lift the polenta out of the baking dish and onto a cutting board. Then you can use a sharp knife for cutting this if you like, just a regular knife, but I find it a lot easier with a long serrated knife. So what we're going to do is cut this into 8 rectangles. The serrated knife makes a nice clean job of this. So to plate our polenta, we're going to cut 1 serving into 2 triangles diagonally, and then overlap them on your plate. And now we're going to add our kale and mushrooms on top. And finish it off with a nice garnish, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And there you have sauteed kale and mushrooms over baked Parmesan polenta. The recipes for this week's dishes are available online at chewtolive.com. And I hope you're going to join us next week when we ask the question, is a carrot by any other name still a carrot?